Hi everyone, Rachel Jensen here, broker owner of Luna Realty Belize. We are here in the Cayo District, and I've invited one of my friends that I've known you for over a decade, I think, at this point, Phil.
Yeah, long time.
Yes, I've invited one of my friends here. Well, actually, we're at his property to talk more about his development. We are at Carmelita Gardens in the Cayo District. We're in the town called Santa Familia, which is about 25 minutes from Spanish Lookout, 25 minutes from San Ignacio. So we're in the heart of a really, really great location here. And Carmelita Gardens is one of the only planned developments here in the Cayo District that I've come across that's really doing and focusing on the community element. There are so many properties that we found where owners or the sellers are subdividing the lots and then just walking away without adding in that community element. But here at Carmelita, I've really found it to be more focused on the owners, on the people creating a home versus just subdivision of land. Here's your land, you figure it out. So Phil, yes. I want to talk to you about your experience here in Belize. How long have you been in Belize? What inspired you to start Carmelita? And what is your vision for this property as it develops?
Well, thank you. Rachel and I have known each other a long time, so she knows all of these answers already. But I'm happy to share with your audience. And thank you for doing this, by the way, and coming out. So, 20 years ago, really, I came to Belize to look at a piece of property in northern Belize. And I just fell in love really with Belizeans, just wonderful, really lots of hospitality. And I thought, wow, I could see myself living here, but that was during the real estate boom. And so I was in Florida with my design business and building business, and I had no reason to look elsewhere. But after purchasing that property, I thought, well, if for no other reason than the kids will be glad the old man picked this up one day. I said, I've got it, kind of a little offshore asset protection, which a lot of people do. But then I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I was like, oh, I really want to do something. And so I did. So I started working on a project there 20 years ago. But when I came out to Cayo, invitation of Dan Silva, former Minister of Agriculture, he said, come and take a look at my farm and see what you can do here. And so I was able to envision a whole community, like you said, a master planned community, and something that people could invest in, not just a financial investment, but an investment of their spirit, their minds, that this is a legacy project that will go on long after we're gone, that this is like we're building a new town. And so it needed to have a town square and little neighborhoods, and to be sustainable and resilient, I thought, wow, let's make it all off grid. So we're not dependent on, the electric grid or a municipal, sewage plant going in one day, or the water system from the village that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work. So that has worked out great, totally off grid. We've got everything from cottages for the simple life. Some people say, I want more home and less house. Right. It's just easy to maintain. And then luxury villas on the riverfront. And like you said, it's really come together as a nice community of people that we say are independent together.
Love it. I love it. Well, I remember coming out when you invited us to come out. I think it was 2015, 16, 17. I don't know. The years all kind of blend together at this point. Right. But even now, at the point of recording this in 2024, beginning of 2020, I guess March 2024, it's really progressed nicely and come a really long way. And just to see the community members here and to see people living here full time, others who are coming and going, maybe they're not quite ready to retire in Belize, but they figured out that this is where they want to be. It's just been really neat. And earlier, before we were recording this, we were over in Cottage Row, and it was one of the central homes there that you as the developer own, right, and maintain. Right. And there was a lady there who came in and she's like, oh, I'm selling smoothies this morning. Do you want any? It was like a guava, sorrel, banana, something. So we're enjoying the smoothies, and there was someone else selling some vegetables, because you have gardens here as well, right?
Yes, yep. We have the organic gardens in the community space. The Belize government, through the Land Utilization Authority, when you do a subdivision, a master plan community, they require 10% green space. I set aside nearly 20%. In areas that I did like yield calculations. I'm not a farmer, but you can kind of do some calculations. How much do we need to produce to provide for the community? And so I set enough green space that we can have parks, recreation, but also food production, food security is the idea. And with a surplus that could go to the primary school in Santa Familia Village or whatever. And so we're starting now. We're working, it's still a kind of a nascent project, but we have a retired, although he's probably working not as much as he did before. He had an organic apple orchard in Minnesota, and so he's come down and is a really avid permaculturist. So he's taken over our whole agricultural initiatives within the community.
Incredible. So what are you growing here at this point?
So they publish a list every week for what is coming from the garden at the Monday market. Yesterday was a holiday, so they were doing it today. But it's, all of the staples. We have lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers, but we also have, we had planted fruit trees 10 years ago. So now we've got, great mango production, plums. I think we have some jackfruit and breadfruit, molly apples, Suriname cherries. I mean, there's a
good list.
Cornucopia of fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
Well, it's neat that you do the Monday market. I didn't realize that's what we were walking into, but it was neat to see it in action.
Yeah. Like I said, today was a little different because, yesterday was a holiday.
Right.
And we are getting more into where people can, go and we have a full-time gardener. You met Daria there. So if somebody comes, midweek and, hey, I really, could use some tomatoes. It's like, okay, we can go and, get a tomato and she work it out. So yeah, it's evolving, but it's a great place to bring people together.
Right.
And a lot of people have their own gardens as well.
Right.
And they produce some things that maybe are not produced in the garden, and then they share. Tony, one of our residents, he was told when he came to Belize that you can't grow lemons. He says, how come you can't grow lemons? You can grow all citrus and limes. You must be able. And so he's got a couple of really productive lemon trees.
Does he now? Yeah. He's in Cottage Row, you said, guys. I know where it's on the way out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's true. You go into the grocery stores and you predominantly find limes.
Correct.
I mean, and you ask for a lemon and you get lime.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that he's growing. We'll go check out the trees, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's funny. Well, I know. So you mentioned that you have casitas, you have cottages up to larger homes like the one that we're currently in.
Yes.
Do you offer, what are the services that you offer as a developer? Obviously, somebody can buy a lot. Do you help with construction? Do you do custom design homes? So you really, it's like a turnkey operation.
Yeah, exactly. So, we have a great team from soup to nuts, I guess, so you start off with like what you do, the property tours and provide information to people through drone footage and just whatever information they need. We also do virtual tours. So if, somebody can't be here right away, but they want to kind of get an idea of the community. They want to pick out a lot maybe that they can reserve or even purchase. During COVID, we had people that, were locked out, but they not only purchased a property that they had never been to, but we did it through virtual tours, designed a house and built a house for them for their arrival, which is for the first time. Yeah. So that's really when the virtual tour started. I just did it, kind of, an impromptu thing, talking to somebody and was like, oh, you know what? Actually, I could just take you over to the property virtually and started doing that. And now we do, periodically we'll organize virtual tours. In fact, we'll be doing one Friday, this coming Friday. So every few weeks or so we'll do them, but we can also do bespoke virtual tours if you just want to go and do that. And so from that, people make their selection either virtually or they come in person and buy a property. Elisa, who's on staff, she helps with the closing and to get it to lands department and track it through the process.
It's important to have that person.
Yes, that place is a mess, but Elisa's got it figured out. So while that process is happening, then you can meet with Luis, our architect, who will help to go through designs, either a custom home or if you want to take one of our models and do modifications, we can do that as well. We do quite a bit of that. And that's, from, cottages, bungalows, villas, we call a manor house, which would be just a, complete, one-off, completely custom house.
Got it.
And so we have examples of that throughout the community. Which is really helpful. It's like having a showroom. People can come in and see the different houses and, the size, how they live, the floor plans. And then from there, we do the whole bill of quantities, determine what the cost will be. And then we've got a great construction team that we just, I took construction over again last year.
Mhm.
We had to doing independent contractors, but it's really much better if we keep it, under, one roof, because we can get more efficiencies of
Right.
scale, economies of scale, and it's really worked out great. We have 6 houses now that we've done the golden shovel, which is our groundbreaking. That's how we start the project.
Mhm.
And we always finish them with a golden ribbon, which is housewarming. But of the projects that we have going right now, they're on budget and on schedule, except for 2 projects. One is 2 months ahead of schedule, which
I'm
is
sure the owners are so upset.
yeah. I mean, our new system is really working
Right.
there. But we have one that is about a month. I mean, about a week behind, but
Mhm.
it's months away from being finished. And the reason is it's a very complicated roof. And it's really high and it's steep, and I just want the guys to be very careful and
Right.
harness themselves in. So they said, it's going to take a little extra time, but Mr. Phil, we can make it up,
Right.
down the road. So
Mhm.
I think we're good. All projects are doing great, on budget, on schedule.
Well, it's really convenient that you have the operations all here in house,
Yeah,
because I know, and then since COVID, I just feel like a lot of people have been focusing in on Cayo, and I think primarily because of land, right?
Mhm.
We're based on the islands, and so on the islands, you're typically living in condos or complexes.
Right,
And
right.
here, people have their own land. They have, and you have half-acre lots. You have
Yep.
smaller lots too,
Mhm.
depending on the size of the home that somebody is looking for,
Yes.
but or how much land they want. So you
Mhm.
have a lot of space here. But it's been really neat to see everything just get built and have that in-house team,
Yes.
because it's very difficult. Or it's going with that is it's very difficult to find good contractors, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
contractors that you can trust, and especially if you're not going to be here in that process, which I
Yep.
guess most people aren't, right? You
Right.
know that you have somebody there on site taking care of it, and it's
Mhm.
being managed and maintained properly.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's so true. I mean, you've been through it
Yep.
yourself, and
Yeah.
I have. And it's painful, and
Uh-huh.
that's the thing, with Carmelita Gardens. We really try to, look out for one another,
Right.
and starting from the beginning is, like I said, that process of the most important thing is the deed. Get your
Mhm.
deed, and that
Mhm.
is a very difficult process in Belize. The deeds are solid. I mean, they're really good. The
Yep.
government guarantees them,
Right.
but it takes them forever to process. I mean, they look at. I mean, they've sent deeds back because really. I mean, there was one letter was off or something. I mean, it's like, hey,
Mhm.
this doesn't match here. It's like, wow, okay, which is great. So you get
Right.
a good solid deed at the end. But what Elisa does is follow through, and you have to. If you don't follow
Yes.
through, it'll sit there forever.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So
So
one last question for you is financing. Do you
yes,
offer
yes.
developer financing here?
We do actually. We offer a special financing now. Our 13th anniversary was in September,
Mhm.
so September 8th. Part of the September celebrations. Right?
Yes.
So September, so 9/8,
Uh-huh.
2010 is when we started, and so we offer 13% down
Mhm.
for our 13th anniversary,
Mhm.
and then 9% interest for 8 years.
Right.
But they can contact us for details, because we've also had people that have bought the interest rate down. So if you do a
Mm.
larger deposit, you can
Mhm.
bring the interest rate down as well.
Got it.
So that is an option. But recently, we've also on select lots,
Mhm.
we have started longer term
Oh,
financing up
great.
to 15 years.
Mhm.
So for somebody that is looking at a long-term plan, and one of the things that we see is that we have a number of retirees, but we're also now starting to attract younger families and younger people, and sometimes their plans are stretched out a little bit
Sure.
farther, which is fine. So we want to be able to accommodate that. We're building a little town, so we
Right.
want a lot of
variety of
a
people,
variety
yeah.
of people. Exactly, that's it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like Belize, right? We're in Belize, and it's a great melting pot. So
Yep.
we want the same thing here in
Yep.
Carmelita.
Well, very nice. Well,
Yeah.
Phil, this was awesome. We will make sure, folks, that there is a link in the description below if you would like more information about Carmelita. It's a stunning property here. And Phil, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Any last words before you close out here?
No, come down, please. Come and visit us. We'd love to host you and show you around Carmelita and the Cayo area. And I know Rachel would love to see you down here as well. So thank you for
Absolutely
having me here.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
very welcome. Bye, everyone. Thank you.